Well, I nipped down to my local stationery shop this morning to go and fetch this latest Daphne's diary, and this is the first one for 2024. So if we have a look here, number 1, 2024, and yeah, I'm not too sure what's inside it, so let's have a look. It's a rather lovely cover, I must be honest. I like those sort of soft colours and coverings. Okay, so that's a nice cover for a journal or for some nice strong journaling cards. You could use that. Let me just make sure that I'm in camera. I do so often tend to pull my things towards me. I think that's a bit better. Lovely images in this one, still very, very wintry feel. And I must be honest, I went out just now to drop my granddaughter off, and it was icy. I know that tomorrow they're forecasting -3 when I'm on my way to work, so that will be fun. The roads tend to get really, really slippery. Okay, so this is just a little snapshot of what's inside the magazine, and it looks like there's going to be some really lovely things. Here's a nice little cafe with all sorts of lovely delicacies and bits and pieces of pottery and that. We had quite a lot of these kind of cafes in South Africa, where the merchandise that was being used was for sale. Okay, we didn't have such pretty teacups in there. They were much more sort of rustic. Some of them were those lovely white enamel cups with the blue rims, and some of them were pottery cups. But I do love this lovely fine porcelain, and I've seen some amazing jewellery done with broken china like that, necklaces and earrings and what have you. That looks just like a lovely place to be on a winter's day. And oh, a little sort of outside area as well. Lovely images of watercolor roses and teacups and things, which you could use as ephemera for your things. This is a lovely, interesting page, a little bit different with its little stripes and things, and it says there's a hidden message in there. I haven't. It says, hold the page flat with the bottom below your nose and then look along it towards the top. Oh, Happy New Year. But even just with the colours, you could cover that a little bit, but you've got some really nice images there. I'm going to be working during the course of this year on a journal to do with gardening, but more gardening that you actually growing things for a purpose. So we'll be growing at work some things for feeding the animals on the farm, and also for servicing up of a tea room. And that just struck me as I turned the page. That could be quite nice just to put on a page as if a reminder to look at the next page. There's something else, another chapter, all about the winter animals needing food. Some really lovely illustrations here, and this lovely sort of mottled snowy effect. Bird feeders, all the tips of the birds, what you can give them for winter, and we do quite a lot of that at work. We harvested masses and masses of sunflowers this last year. I think the previous year we'd planted about 400 sunflowers, and this year we had not quite as many, but nevertheless quite a lot. So we've been putting handfuls of that out each day for all the wild animals that come along, and there's certainly lots of them around. This is quite a nice sturdy, it's almost like a card, and this says memory flowers. Cut out the following pages, and then I think the idea is that you would glue them back to back, because there's 2 of each design, 1 for each month. But they could also be nice little journal cards, things to go into a tuck spot. You could write on the back of them, maybe if you put some plain paper on, just a little message for somebody, something to pop into a book or a Bible. Really nice. Lovely images that you could use for your junk journaling, and lovely fonts and things here too. If you separate the words, you could make up your own sentiments if you collected a few of these. This is the page where everybody writes in and says what they've been making, and there's some wonderful ideas, from painting inside shells, doing little bits of mosaics, very creative ideas, collages. I like doing mosaic. I used to teach people to do mosaic. This one I think is just really fun. This is making a focaccia bread, but then decorating it so that it looks more like an artwork. And I remember once finding in a South African magazine this beautiful, it wasn't quite a sponge cake, but a similar cake that was done as one whole cake in one of those pans with a ring in. I don't know what they're called. I'm not very good at cooking. But what you did with that was that you took these rose geranium petals and you buttered the bottom of your dish, and then you put them face downwards in the dish, and then you poured your mixture over the back of the leaves, and then once it cooked, it left these like little green veins showing in the batter. You would obviously remove the leaves, but this was just reminiscent of that, and I just thought, what fun if you're having a party or you're trying to encourage a child perhaps to eat, to make a focaccia bread and just decorate it with all the lovely vegetables. Quite fun. Denim, yeah, I'm going to be working on some denim. I have some denim that I'm cutting up, and I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to make with those, so wait for that. Lovely little winter houses. Those are lovely to cut out and add as ephemera, and yeah, just charming. I love the little colors, really gorgeous illustrations. Some more there that you could add in. Don't discount text block, because that also makes nice backgrounds for things, and make sure that you save all your little images. I've just got a little concertina file that I pop them all into. Okay, this is a spot the difference kind of thing, but you've got lovely background papers here. Stickers, this is almost like a washi tape because it's in strips, obviously Valentine's themes, so I keep my stickers in a separate folder so that I've got them all together. And yeah, just a letter from a reader and her cookies. Some, oh, look at this, magical illustrations with lovely little images of deer and owls and all sorts of things. So really winter wonderland. Monet, I do love his paintings. I mean, there's just something about them that's just so calm and tranquil. So any section of that, I mean, even if you had to take just a strip like that, could make a really beautiful tag, or even if you just cut out that little bit, given what we have to work with in the magazine. Drippy tins of paint I love, and I love paintbrushes that can no longer be used, that I can make into something else. There's a nice stamp that you could use as well. Really gorgeous, and that's such a fascinating picture. Monet's lilies. Right, all our lovely little books that we can make up mini little booklets with, but just little treasures to subscribe to. Gooseberries. Now, that was quite interesting. When I arrived here, we've got a gooseberry bush in our field area that we work in, and I looked at it and I thought, no, that's not a gooseberry, because we have Cape gooseberries, and the stems are almost sort of, they're not woody, I'd say they're more like thick papery stems, and then each gooseberry is encapsulated in one of these lovely cones, whereas here the gooseberry bush is prickly, and we haven't had much yield, so it's coming out. We'll plant something else that has a better yield. I love this work that's been done here with these animals, patching together pieces of what looks like upholstery material and stitching them very, very clever together, almost like crazy patchwork, but how beautifully creative. Obviously there must be some sort of wire armature inside, and then you've got these lovely borders on the, oh, look at this owl, he's so cute. But this is a real labor of love, each one just an individual artwork in itself. Alright, big ocean cleanup. I had seen a lovely documentary on how they're cleaning up the ocean and recycling all this plastic and using this net system to do it, and take my hat off to them. It's something that we don't think of. When you think, if you've ever been to an island like Mauritius or the Seychelles, everything that they have there gets brought onto the island, gets used, and then obviously what do you do with all the packaging and stuff? So there needs to be a plan, and this is one of the plans. So kudos there. This is a nice idea for Valentine's Day, dipping strawberries and different color chocolate and sprinkles, or your little heart-shaped cookies. And this is a little template to cut out and make up a little box, so that's an always a useful thing to have, just to pop it away for the time that you're actually going to use that. Pouring coffee and making patterns, that looks fun. Right, lots of lovely snow images. Look at these sculptures, aren't they amazing? Oh my word, where is this? Just trying to see if I can find it. Oh, Harbin, China. The biggest snow and ice festival in the world is held every year in Harbin, China. Participants build the most amazing constructions out of ice, which is soared from the Zhonghu River in meter-thick blocks. To give you an idea of scale, the festival site is bigger than 100 football pitches. In the evenings, the sculptures are all lit up. A truly magical sight. Wow, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alright, more things about winter and snow. Facts about what salt does when we spread it on the roads, snow, stickiness, but also some fun images as well. House plants. Yeah, you got to look after them even in winter. Otherwise they will dry out and die with all the heating. And this is a lady from the Netherlands. Now, what is she making here? Jill used to work as a goldsmith and had a home studio. After attending a pottery workshop where she fell head over heels in love with the materials, she added ceramics to her repertoire, and about 6 years ago her studio has been connected with a garden too. That's where she grows the ingredients for her handmade paints. Oh wow. And also offers botanical workshops like eco-printing and paint making. So all her passions have gradually to come together in one studio where it's all about creativity and craftsmanship. How wonderful is that, to have everything on site and to have a designated space to be able to do everything in. She's obviously been, oh, this is when you do the eco dye, you've got to tie it up and you get all the lovely colour strings, and these are all her powdered pigments that she's made. That's gorgeous, something worthwhile having a look at. This is the type of macrame where you can do sorts of things, and if you're on Pinterest you can see lovely macrame to do there. Really gorgeous. There's some nice soup recipes. There was one over here that I just saw as I flipped through, a pea soup. I'm not a vegetarian, but that just looked like a nice hearty soup for a winter. Tips for body images, some ski things. New Year's resolutions. Oh, do you do them or don't you? We can try, hey? Creativity, definitely. I think you should do in the new year, even if you don't feel confident, you don't feel that you are good at anything. It's not about what others think of what you do. It's about whether it gives you pleasure and whether it helps you to work and enjoy the process. So think of art as a process that you're going to enjoy rather than an end result, and I think that you'll find it a lot easier. We had in one of the other magazines also a few little houses like this, and there was a lovely giraffe in it. So now seeing that there's a second set of things, I think one could do something rather fun with them. Lovely to colour in as well. This looks like a nice place. What is this? Anyone who loves Madeleine simply must visit this unique lunchroom in the heart of Strasbourg, France. They have elevated this little cake to a rare art form here. So this is obviously a highly specialised tea shop, but what a lovely setting to be in. Oh, it just looks like, oh, it looks like the place to go on a nice cold sunny day, a cold Sunday. Alright, lovely little rag dolls. What a lovely contrast to all the plastic that children have today. A nice handmade rag doll. I made quite a few when I was at college. Love those. This looks interesting, and this, oh, that makes up a lacy envelope. So this is a cardboard piece where you will see that there are perforations. You pop out all the little pieces and then you'll be left with that lacy envelope. Lovely. What a nice idea. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. What is on the other side of this? This looks mysterious. Oh, altered books. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what an altered book is, it's when you take a book and you might cut out sections of it like they've done here, or you might change the book so that the pages don't only have the words that are on them, but they might have some form of drawing or painting, or you might do something 3D like that where you're looking through almost like a tunnel and in the middle of it is a cat. So it's any of these kind of things, and honestly, if you go onto Pinterest, the work that is done is amazing, but it is a lot of work. But if you've got an interest in it, it is a lovely thing to do. That's really lovely. This is also really nice, different ways to use photo frames. So one is just to put a piece of mesh wire behind so that you can use it to hang your earrings on. This one's to put postcards and special little bits and bobs. here using it as a growing medium for succulents. And I've also seen it where you've got little cup hooks here and you thread on things like your washi tape and that, so that you can have it all in one place. But rather a nice idea. I love that, of a living frame. Alright, making candles. Yes, taught that for many years, candle making. We had loads of fun with that. Be careful always, never leave your candles unattended. Don't splatter water into the wax when it's melting, because it just makes it pop up and it's dangerous not only to you, but it tends to go all over the place. So just make sure that you exercise extreme caution when working with the wax, but you can make the most delightful things that are personal to you. And I have got a video that I've done on using up scraps of candles and also how to apply napkins onto candles, so I'll link that together. Doll's house things. Yeah, when I was younger, I must say I thought I would be able to do a doll's house when I got older, but you know what happens, your eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and just don't know that I have the time to do it. But I do think this is absolutely beautiful, and I have seen some amazing doll's house furniture in my time. Lovely little rural villages in France. And then every now and again in between these you pick up these sort of outdoorsy images in Daphne's diary. They could be hiking, they could be bicycles, they could be cars. And this is rather nice, a paper photo frame. So here's your little template, and you would just need to fold it together along those lines to make a little paper photo frame. So that immediately, I think, apart from just being used as a photo frame, could be quite a nice sort of thing to add onto the front of a journal cover, or to have as a little drop-in box for different images. Fun. I think we're going to play around with that. Here's the poster. Let's see what's inside this one. Sorry, this is a big piece of paper, and I don't know if I'm going to get it all on frame. Oh, this is lovely. It says, "Hello, Winter." And then you've got some illustrations. That looks like a tea tag. Some lovely cups, and rather a nice image of a dog. Oh, that's definitely something that one can use. And then we have here, can you shut the door behind you? Okay, these are all things for energy saving, but my mind when I saw this, before I read it, was to cut those out and maybe make them into stamps. But I could, by the time you put a postmark on there, you wouldn't see that it was just energy saving, but it's about the right size for making a little stamp. Upcoming things in Daphne's diary. This is always just a lovely colourful treat, and obviously each and every one of these little things you could fussy cut and actually use in some of your journaling. Colouring page and a lovely Valentine's background page. Growing seeds. Yep, we've been planting up storm. We've got overwinter onions in, we've got garlic, we're about to start planting our sweet peas, but we do have a greenhouse to put them in, and we are going to be doing some herbs, and we've even got an old hanging basket. So we've got the frame and we've got the coir that goes inside. We're going to stitch some membrane underneath that we can put some soil in, so when it's upturned it'll be a dome that's filled with soil. And then you put 4 little upturned small terracotta pots like these little ones here, and then we'll make a little snout, and it's going to make the shape of a tortoise, and then we poke in through the coir into the soil some little holes, and we're going to plant some succulents. So we're going to prepare that, and we're going to start propagating our little succulents to go into that. Just a fun project for my trainees to work with. These little stickers, well, no, they're not stickers, they're little cutouts intended to go on the tops of cakes. But I do think that they could make nice little swing tags, or they could make nice gift tags, or just a focal point on a page. Love this with the pomegranates. I had 2 pomegranate trees in South Africa, and they were gorgeous. And my grandfather was a very wise, wily old man. He told my sister and I when we were children that the pomegranates were absolutely delicious to eat, but we could only eat the red around the pip. The pip inside was poisonous. And then he would sit us on the lawn with half a pomegranate each, and he'd head off into his workshop. And he knew that we were just sitting there enjoying the pomegranate, but there's not a lot of flesh around there. So, I mean, we were there for ages trying to eat our pomegranates, and I think he was just crafty. He just, he wanted to get into the garage onto his lathe. Some sort of mosaic shapes here. I'm not sure why they've been sliced like that, but actually quite nice just to have something different to play with. Nice background page. And then, oh, look at that lovely splash of yellow for the inside cover. And the next one will be an Easter spread. So the cover altogether looks like that. And I think there's just plenty in there that we can do it. So February being Valentine's coming up soon, we must remember to love one another. And yeah, thank you for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, just give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And I think I'm going to be doing some projects using this magazine, so look out for those as well. Bye for now.